Alright, so I have my 3 pairs of eyes made. This is the 14mm, 12mm, and 10mm. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys ways to fill in the inside and make the color and the iris and all of that. And then show you guys how to pour in the clear resin and let that cure. Alright? Okay, so to color the inside of these eyes, I'm going to show you 3 different methods. One of them is going to be using acrylic paint, and the other one is going to be using nail polish, and then the third one is going to be printing out the eyes and pasting them in. And then all 3 of those are covered with resin. Alright, this is the printing and pasting method of adding the color. So, this is what it looks like without the resin. And these are the 10mm eyes, by the way. So, a little hard to see them, but that's kind of what it looks like. So, I just found an image on Google Images, and saved it, opened it up in a Word document, and resized it. And I tried a couple different sizes and found that the size worked best for my eye size that I'm using. So I printed that out on regular printer paper and cut it out. And so I have a sheet of paper, and I place it on top of the indent as evenly as possible. And then using this rounded sculpting tool, I pressed it down into the indent and kind of made like a swirling motion to really press it in well, and make sure that all the sides are as flattened as possible, because you don't want increases. I mean, you don't want creases in your paper, because that won't look very nice. And so the point is to get the paper to be rounded. So the next step is you take some super glue and put just a small amount in the back. And then take this piece of paper that you made, the rounded piece of paper, and put it on top, and gently press it down with this. Careful that you don't accidentally glue the paper to the metal tool. Just like put a quick press down, and then let that sit. And then you're pretty much done. You just have to add the resin on top, which I'll show you how to do later. One thing though, if you did want to, you can also always add Pearl-Ex on top of it, which is a fine powder glitter. Only add a very small amount though. You don't need a lot. If you put too much when you add your resin in, it's going to make the resin cloudy. So only put a very little bit of it in if you feel like you really want this to have a shimmery look to it. So that's it for this method. Okay, so for the acrylic paint method, you're going to need some acrylic paint, obviously. So here I have some blue, and then I also have some white. The white I use to kind of make a little bit of some lines in there. Painting's never been my strongest suit, so forgive the not quite as pretty as it could be paint job, but so yeah, the white I used for the lines. Now I wanted to show you guys what the Pearl-Ex looks like, because I'm going to be putting Pearl-Ex in both of these eyes. This one that I showed you before does not have Pearl-Ex in it, so it's just the normal paint. And then this one has the Pearl-Ex in it, so a little bit lighter, and it's also very shimmery. But if you did want to make it shimmery without Pearl-Ex, you can always buy acrylic paint that is, you know, metallic. So either one would work. So you've got your acrylic paint, your paintbrush, and then your Pearl-Ex if you would like to use it. So the next step for me for these is that I'm going to put Pearl-Ex into this one. And then I'm going to be, instead of painting a black dot at the back of that, I'm going to be putting these little black crystals in the back. I like them, one, because then I don't have to worry about my circle being completely round, and two, they just look really pretty in there, and they add a little bit more of dimension into the eye. And then I'm going to be using the super glue to glue that down. And then I have two other pairs of little crystals, which I'm going to be also putting in there just for some embellishments, because I really like the look of crystals in the eyes. So let me do that and show you guys what that looks like. Alright, so I glued down the crystals into the eyes, and also put Pearl-Ex into the other one. So all that's left to do with these is put the resin in. And one thing I wanted to make note of is, for the glue that you'll be using for the eyes, for any of them, if you are gluing stuff down into the eyes, make sure you use clear super glue. Make sure it dries clear. And I also suggest that you use because there's like the gel form and then there's like the liquid form. I personally prefer the liquid form because it flows right over the crystals and such, and I don't have to worry about it clumping up anywhere or anything like that. So I prefer I prefer the liquid one, but it's a personal preference. So alright. Okay, so this is the nail art method. I have to say, out of all the 3 different methods that I'm showing you guys, the printing, the acrylic, and the nail polish, I have to say that the nail stuff is probably my favorite. I feel like it gives, I have a lot more control over it, and it also just like lays down very nicely in the opening. I don't know, I feel like it works like the best out of everything. Plus, nail polishes, there's all different colors and shimmery, not shimmery, nail polish with stuff in it, partly clear, really dark, just anything that you want. So I think I really like the nail polish stuff the best. Plus, you can get all of the nail stuff that you can put in the eyes, which, I mean, you could also do this with acrylic or printing. Basically, all these methods, I mean, obviously you can just mix and match anything that you want, but I really do like the nail polish in the eyes. So, for this, I chose to use this nail polish, just because I thought it's a pretty blue, and it's got some, like, goldish, pinkish colors in it. So, yeah. So, this is the eye with the nail polish in it. I did 2 coats, and let that dry. So yeah, I really like how it came out. And then for this eye, I also used a black crystal for the iris, and also a clear crystal for accent. And then I took one of these flowers that are for nails, and I cut off 2 of the petals, and then put that in there underneath the black crystal. and then put the white crystal on top of the black. So, and then of course I use super glue to get that all down. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks. Yeah, so all that's left to do is, well, I need to finish up this one, but after that, all that's left to do is add resin. Alright, so all of the eyes are done. I've put everything into them that I want in them. So what's next is to put the resin in and let that cure, and then when that's done, I can cover the whole thing in gloss and the eyes will be complete. So one quick tip, when you're filling the eyes with whatever color that you're wanting, note that the colors are going to look a lot darker once they're in the eye. It's just, I'm not quite sure why that is, but the colors are always going to look darker once everything is in there. There's just not as much light. So like this one, which, I mean, the lighting in here is bad, but it's actually really, really light blue. But inside the eye, it looks somewhat dark. So, just note that you might want to try using a lighter color first. And then if you find that it's too light for what you want, then you can try going to a darker color. But I wouldn't suggest using a dark color first, because it's going to be harder to go over it with a lighter color later. So, but yeah, that's it.